Well, hello, greetings, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Women and Youth Civility Summit 2020. I am the solution. My name is Dr. Anana Phifer-Derilhomme. I am super excited that you have joined us today. Listen, you are at the right place at the right time. Make sure that you like, you comment, you share, and you join this conversation. This is time for women of dialogue. It's time to talk. It's time to know that we are the solution today. Oh, this is day two. This is day two of the summit. Were you here yesterday? If you weren't, you might want to go back and watch day one. We kicked off this summit with five amazing young women. The youngest was just the age of 13, and we went all the way up to the age of 18 years old. Oh my goodness, you got to see it. You got to watch it. So you want to check the day one of the Women and Youth Civility Summit, where we kicked it off with the youth, and they said the child will lead them. Oh, we had a awesome leading yesterday. So I really hope that you have a chance to go back, hear some of the solutions that the girls shared from their heart, from their experiences. But today, we're back again, and we are focusing on civility, creativity, community, and climate change. Are you ready? Those are the four things that we came to talk about. And we are bringing civility. We're going to listen, we're going to learn, and we are going to live civility moving forward. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited because I have women from all over the world, and not just women. I'm talking about the top leading ladies from around the world that have come today to share and to really help us promote and get the message out that we are the solution. Y'all know that song is Ladies Night. I said, if y'all hear the noise, it ain't the boys, it's Ladies Night. So the girls are here. Blessed Girls Global is expanding. This is our first summit, and I am super, super excited that we have some of the best. So I hope that you're watching, you continue this conversation, get your pen, get your pad, get to typing, because this is our time. This is our season to be the solution. So before I get started, I told you this is women and youth, okay? Women and youth, I want to introduce, because it's about the girls, but I just let one guy come and hang out with us today. Just one. I did allow one guy to hang out with us. Now he's got to be super special if we let him come hang out with us today, right? So he is none other than Sir Clyde Rivers out of California, but he is an amazing global international. He is the founder. He laid the foundation with I Change Nations. Sir Clyde Rivers, how are you today?
Man, I am fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Anana.
Are you ready?
And man, after yesterday, there was no words. Like I said, I traveled to over 80 nations of the world. What I saw yesterday in those young women, I have so much hope for the future. And as I told you, we have to build stages to get their voices heard.
Yeah.
And again, I want to thank you for putting this stage together to give these amazing women a chance to be heard around the world. Thank you again.
Sir, we are following your lead. And the one thing I just wanted you, even just opening up and just to share a little bit about I Change Nations, and because that really is, we are all under that umbrella. Can you just share a little bit about the mission, the vision of what you see now, even in this climate, dealing with COVID, the pandemic, talking about civility? Well, tell us just a little bit about what your vision, if you will.
Yeah. What it is I Change Nations. We establish the world's largest culture of honor network in the world. Because Dr. Nana, when I traveled the world, I would see great people, but no one would actually recognize. They recognize the actual old ones that had died. I said, wait, there's modern day heroes out there that are doing an amazing job. And as we started this work, what happens now in countries of the world, people know who to look up to, because now they have an actual living model, not an historical model.
Oh.
You see, and what it is, Nana, at the end of the day, what you sow, you reap. So every country that has sowed bad seeds to humanity, we want to redeem the time with civility and teach people how to interrupt a negative consequence that's going to come upon all these countries that have mistreated people. So we need to interrupt with civility. And I thank you for opening the doors so that can be done. You're a great lady, Anana. No words.
Thank you, so we're interrupting. We coming strong with civility, guys. I like the interruption because that means we're going against the norm. Like you said, the history, the old stuff. We have current leaders, heroes right here today, and they're on this stage. They're on this platform with us today. So they better get ready, Doc.
Come on now.
They better get ready. So thank you for being here. We're going to go right into it because, listen, time is of essence, and I certainly want you to chime in because I know, like you said, you have a lot on your plate, a lot happening today, but I definitely want you to engage and get your feedback and connect with some of the ladies today, okay?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, guys. So listen. We're here today. Women and Youth Civility. We're talking about civility. We're talking about bringing the solutions around the world, right? We have the answer. We are the solution, and I got some folks here to talk about it. But let me just tell you, there's one thing that when we're talking about girls and we talk about women, right? I want you to understand that the future is female. Okay, so y'all just better get ready, get used to us. But even in that, there's some things that we don't really like to talk about, or you don't hear enough, if I would, in my own opinion, right? And these are just some statistics. And we talk about one thing, is huge thing, is domestic violence. Right? Human trafficking. That's one of the greatest human right violations, right? And even in 2019, 243 million women and girls across the world were subjected to sexual and physical violence, even by their own intimate partner. So I'm just coming out swinging, okay? Because these are the things that we're going to address. We're talking about equality. We're talking about protecting our girls, our women around the world. And as COVID-19, this pandemic continues, right? This number is likely to grow with multiple impacts that's going to affect women around the world, okay? So we have to talk about this. We have to be the voice. We have to be the advocate, right? Even the France's Interior Minister says that they report that domestic violence across the country has jumped by 30% since the country went into lockdown. We got to talk about these things. We have to be the solution. Now, and even here in the United States, we're talking even about sustainable goals, and sometimes we don't even think about hunger and food insecurity in the United States, but it is true. It is happening. There was a survey of mothers with young children, and they found that 40.9% of the mothers with children ages 12 and under reported their household had food insecurity since the onset of COVID. Since the onset of the pandemic, which was 3 or 4 months ago now? And this rate will continue. So these are just some of the issues and why it is so important for us to come to the table, to have these platforms, to have these summits, to address the issues around the world. Okay, so that's just a little bit. We're going to talk more about some facts and some statistics, but I have got some women here today, and we're going to get right into this, right? So if you don't know me, let me just tell you who I am, because that's one thing I do all the time is say, I am. And you see, hashtag I am the solution. So my name again is Dr. Anana Phifer-Derilhomme, and I am the solution. I am the woman and youth civility practitioner, where we bring civility, we bring empowerment to girls and women around the world. So welcome. BlessedGirls is happy to have you. So listen, sit back, comment, like, and of course share, because we are ready to get started. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay, I'm ready. So listen, let me tell you about my first guest. My first guest hails from Swaziland. I have never been to Swaziland, but I know I will be at this point. God really put us together just this year. Sis, you got, isn't that something? Well, she's not here yet, but you're going to know. So her name is Paulile Manili. And I hope I got that right. Right. She is a missionary and a media professional. She holds a bachelor's degree of arts in film production and from the University of Cape Town. Okay. In 2015, she graduated from the discipleship training school run by, do you guys know why? I think it's YWAM, right? And she and her husband, they founded the production company, and I know I need to get this straight. Optasia, she'll tell us about that. That was in 2015. Polile is passionate about social development and finding ways to use media and ministry as a way to reach out to and build the youth. So we're excited to have her, right? In January 2016, she was a production assistant on the international film Girl in the Mirror, which highlighted human trafficking. And in December 2016, she pioneered the Basics of Filmmaking seminar that is currently registered with the University of the Nations of Hawaii. This 6-week program designed to bridge the gap. I love that. Bridge the gap between youth 18 to 30 for disadvantaged areas and the expansive media industry. Now, isn't this awesome? Because that's exactly what we're doing today. Yesterday, we had our youth, we had our teens, and now today we have our women leaders, and we are bridging the gap. So listen, Polile, she is a public speaker. She's ready to speak, y'all. She has been invited to the Women's Days events, and it's a 16-day of activism that launches for transient South African port officials. Right? In 2020, she was also in talks to lecture a seminar on screenwriting at the Nelson Mandela Bay University in Port Elizabeth. Of course, this was prior to COVID-19 restrictions. But I'm so excited to have her today because, like I said, God connected us for a time and a season we had no idea. But here she is today. She is one of our guests. She is kicking off the women's segment, day 2 of the Women and Youth Civility Summit. Polile, how are you today?
Hello, hi, Dr. Nana. I'm doing so wonderful. I'm excited to be a part of the Women and Youth Civility Summit. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for creating this platform. I think some of the topics and discussions are very important. I'd also like to acknowledge His Excellency, Dr. Clive Rivers as well, and thank him for being a part of the program. And of course, the BlessedGirls. It was amazing hearing from them yesterday.
Oh, was it not incredible, incredible? And you know, I'm so excited to hear from you, even now after you saw some of the girls, you heard what was on their heart, right? Yeah. Just to know what they're thinking, what they're feeling. Mm-hmm. It's so important. It is so important. So let's get right into it. Right? Yeah. Listen, the first 2 questions, we're going to talk about these 4 C's today, right? And so my first question to you is, which one of the 4 C's is crucial in today's world and why? Right? That's the first question. The second one is, which of the 4 C's do you feel is the least addressed or talked about in your community?
Well, I think the 4 C that's most important is civility, because civility defines our public life and how we treat one another. In Southern Africa, we actually call civility Ubuntu, and that is the standard that we uphold the other individual. So it is great because Ubuntu, or civility in Southern Africa, or Africa in general, expresses itself through things like culture. And when we talk about culture, we're talking about something that unifies a group of people, and it also sets us apart. Unfortunately, when we're talking about African culture, sometimes because the dialogue around African culture has sort of vilified or demonized its weaknesses and not really projected and celebrated its strength. So when we want to really delve into the thing of civility in the African context, we have to look at attributes. We have to look at things like culture. And culture brings us together as a people. And at the same time, culture can be the platform where we create a collective consensus around certain issues. I love the fact that you started off and you talked about gender-based violence. And gender-based violence, it seems like it's become an issue we can't come to a consensus with, simply because we are asking ourselves, we should be asking ourselves, is gender-based violence right or wrong? Yes or no? But we debate and say, okay, but the person or the victim, what type of person were they? Were they in the relationship for the benefit of it? And what type of person did they engage with? Did they know that they were violent or had a violent history? And we should just take the collective stand that says gender-based violence is wrong under any context, in any situation. And again, you spoke about human trafficking. One of the ways that it manifests, it is in child brides. And unfortunately, the conversation around that as well with child marriage is the child happy? Is the child in love? Did the parents consent? Or the person that she's been given to is a family of good standing? Or maybe the child was pregnant and the marriage would be a way to redeem the family and not have them live through the shame of having a teenage or a young child giving birth outside of marriage. And we need to come to the collective consensus that says child marriage, child brides, it is absolutely wrong under any context, under any situation. And I believe once we've built that collective consensus, we can then begin to apply individually our take on the consensus and say, as a civil citizen in my society, how can I respond when I see our collective decision being violated? And then, with regards to your second question, I think the issue that is least addressed in my community, anyway, it is climate change. I think for the Black African, thinking about climate, it's something like it's God's work. So if he's opening or closing the ozone layer, if it's snowing where it's supposed to be, a desert area, then that's just it's just a matter of God doing his thing. But we don't understand that our lifestyle decisions actually feed into climate change responding adversely. We don't understand that when we engage in social activities, like you guys would call it drag racing, I think we call it spinning. And, cars are there, you have to burn rubber and tires, and we put things in our exhaust pipe to make them loud and to make the smoke come out. And that's a contribution to pollution. So the government of Eswatini, the Kingdom of Eswatini, also known as Swaziland, has been very proactive in putting in place protocols surrounding climate change. And they've actually set up an environment and an environmental authority that deals with issues like climate change. So, for instance, at home, what happens is we use firewood to heat our houses. But now the authority for environment and environmental change, it's looking at things that say for every tree that you cut down, it needs to be replaced. It's looking at talking about issues that say there are some trees that are indigenous to this specific area and they should therefore be protected. So by us being active in issues of climate change, we're also protecting our agricultural sector because we benefit a lot from that. Our big export, it is sugarcane, it is paper mill. So if we can get our conversation and action around climate change right, then that will also positively affect the agricultural and resource sectors as well.
Back up. Okay. All right. So this is good, sis. Because and again, I love the way that you speak from the African perspective, the African culture, right, Doc? Anything you want to add to that? I'm sure. Hold on. Let me get you. And what was the word civility? How do you spell that?
Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Ubuntu.
I
All
am
right.
because we
What do you
are.
think about that?
Yes.
I am because we are.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Dr.
Yes.
That's
That's it.
it.
That's it.
Yeah. And you know what? I really liked your actual insight into how spirituality has actually trumped climate change in the natural realm. And
Mhm.
I really love the fact that you brought that amazing insight that we have to get the information into spirituality. Hey, there are things we
Yeah.
can do naturally to help
Yes.
our climate as well. And you know what, man,
Mm-hmm.
you're just an amazing professional. And
Oh, thank
it was
you.
so nice to hear you talk. You're so You're so clear, you're concise, and you know your stuff. So I was honored to hear you speak today.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Rivers.
Indeed. And and the one thing that I was thinking too, Landra yesterday, she said that
Mhm.
literally, really, because most people don't understand it, because climate change really is about science. And
Mhm.
because we don't know and we're not comfortable with science, certain most
Mhm.
people, right, then we just shame away from it. We really don't want
Mhm.
to talk about it or learn more about it or understand the real effects of it because it really, really is around science. And that hit me a lot. I don't know what you think
Yeah.
about that, but
I think that's absolutely true. And Landria was from Guyana, right?
correct.
I think, yeah, it is similar in terms of development as Swaziland. And I think we need to bring ourselves into the awareness that science is not just an intellectual subject, meaning only scientists can engage with science. We, as everyday lay people, there are certain elements to science that we can understand.
Yeah.
And in understanding those elements, we can tweak our lifestyle to be able to be good and civil citizens in the environments that we're living in.
Powerful, powerful, power. All right, let's. She's good, y'all. You guys are putting in the comments. Make sure you're sharing some of the takeaways, the nuggets that you hear. They're saying, "Wow, you go, sis."
Yes,
So
those are my in-loves, my
right?
brother-in-laws.
So here's my next question for you. What role do you see women playing in creating a more civil society? And
Mhm.
how, I like this question because, again, we
Yeah.
are a part of the society, right? So, how do you
Mhm.
press forward in the face of adversity, such as inequalities, such as racial and gender biases? What keeps you going, if you will? So, what role do you play? And then, how do
Mhm.
you keep going and move forward, even when faced with adversity?
I think when it comes to the issue of us creating a more civil society as women, again, I'll take it back to the African context. Women are perceived to be the primary caregivers and homemakers. And we are not allowed as natural of a flow into the corporate or business sector. And that is because the perception or the narrative around that is you can either only be excellent at home as a caregiver and homemaker at the detriment of your career, or you can be an excellent career woman and businesswoman at the detriment of your home or your personal life. And it shouldn't be that way because it should be a balance. Yes, that comes as a sacrifice, but that is possible. Childbirth is a sacrifice, but we do it in order to reap results and benefits from it. Weight loss is a huge suffering and sacrifice, but we do it in order to reap results from it. So I think when you understand that is the space that we are coming into the global marketplace, into the global business space. When I then come and I encounter Dr. Anana and she's here, she's doing her thing. She's got BlessedGirls going on. She's got her private businesses. It looks like her home life is also on point. I immediately perceive you to be competition. And I think our civility should come as women when we engage with one another. We should look at each other as collaborators. And the reason why it is very easy for me to look at you as competition is because I don't have a vision for everything in my life. I need to have a vision for my family. I need to have a vision for my marriage. I need to have a vision for my skills and my ability. I need to have a vision for my spirituality. Where do I see these things going in the long run, and what is it going to take for them to get there? And once I understand that, I can also be able to understand the fact that though we may be doing similar things, we may be touching similar things, it's not necessarily the same and it doesn't have to boil down to competition. So, for instance, both Dr. Nana and myself could catch a flight from Washington, D.C. to New York. We are on the same flight, we land at the same airport, but ultimately our destinations are different. And that's the beauty of having the understanding of your vision. Then you know where to collaborate and you're willing to humble yourself and say, Dr. Anana, would you be willing to mentor me? Would you be willing to show me how you did this or how you did that? And even if people should come behind me, I'm willing to extend the same type of thing because that's how I received my growth. And it is unfortunate that as women, we hold our achievements as exclusive trophies instead of inclusive victories. A woman's victory is a woman's victory for us all. So I think that's how we can include and how we can improve upon civility. And then when it comes to the issue of inequality and challenges faced, I have come to accept the fact that the narrative currently standing for women is you have to press on in order to move on. There are some environments where I may be required, but I'm not welcome. And in doing that, I come in and I want to find a solution. I want to meet a need. I want to change the game. I want to set trends because I know once there's a need that I'm fulfilling, then you won't be able to resist me, basically. So I really believe the fact that we face these challenges, we face adversity, it should actually give you the drive to want to create, to want to do something new, and to want to change the game altogether.
Powerful. You dropped so much right there. I mean, that whole, there's no competition. We are here for collaboration. Right. And unfortunately, and I think that's more societal, right? That they always are putting you against me, right? You versus me, right? Like who wore it best, who looks best, right? And that's what society does. Right. And we got to say, no, we both look good. we both win it. Right. That's powerful. That really, really is powerful in that regard. And that's just, again, the female, talking about women. And that needs to be taught even younger, because I see even the young girls, they come into an environment, and everybody sits in their own space. Nobody talks. They got their clique. They start cracking and putting each other down. I mean, we're talking like 7, 8, 9, where y'all learn this from? Right? Where did this come from? So it even starts at a young age, and we have to even start there to know we're here to uplift one another. This is not what we do in the Blessed Girl environment. Like, and it's foreign to them. And in 2 to 3 days, they're loving on each other. They're uplifting one another. But we have to say enough is enough. We're stopping that. That's not happening. Not on our watch. This is not what we do. And it's time for us to stand up and say that this is not the norm for us. This cannot continue. So that's powerful. That was a lot there, sis. I got so many notes, and I love the analogy of getting on a plane. Listen, we both going from one place where we get to the same destination, right? That was powerful. Powerful. All right. So last 2 questions for you. Last 2. And I know this will drop it right here. What advice would you give to I almost went into that, right? What advice would you give to your 13-year-old self? And of course, please provide 2 solutions for today's women to build civility in our culture.
Wow, okay. The advice that I would give to my 13-year-old self is learn to be an independent thinker. And by that, I mean learn to objectively assess a situation, whether it is privately or in a context of teamwork. That will serve you greatly, because what they never teach us in school is once you are out in the real world, you are bombarded by so many opinions. You are bombarded by so many versions of what you should be. And the truth of the matter is there's only one truth concerning you. So learn to be an independent thinker. And the second thing that I would say, as my 13-year-old self was writing her goals and saying, by the time I'm this age, I want to be married. By the time I'm this age, I want to start having kids. And by the time I'm this age, this must have happened for me. That must have happened for me. And I would say your life is actually happening in stages. And some of those stages have nothing to do with your age, but everything to do with your readiness. So do not be disappointed if you had told yourself this age, certain things must have fallen into place.
I'm sorry, I just got to stop you right there, because that was so good. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Now, your life is happening in stages. I know you were just going from the heart, but what was after that? You just went too fast for me. Come on back.
Okay, I was saying your life happens in stages,
right?
And some of those stages have nothing to do with your age, but everything to do with your readiness.
Yes. Listen, I'm going to type that in the feed. It has nothing to do with your age, but it has everything to do with your readiness. Oh my goodness, that's powerful. And again, just the synergy and what was shared yesterday. But there was something about, like, being ready. And I think, Doc, we talked about that. Like, these girls are ready, and they're so young. And so people will look at them and say, That 14. She's 13. We don't listen to her. She can add no value to this conversation. And that is
Yep.
so true. That's powerful. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody type that in the feed. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So I think with that, basically, just don't be disappointed as long as the things they fall into place. That's the most important thing. So don't put that pressure on you and enjoy every stage of your life. And then with regards to solutions that I would provide for civility, I think the first one would be to create or to get involved in context specific policies or programs. So I talk about policies because I'm talking about the women that are in positions of power, the women that have influence to change policies. And nobody knows the challenges that we face that decrease our quality of life better than a woman because it's what we live each and every single day. So there should be a push for specific policies that will improve the quality of the woman's life if you are somebody that is in a position of power or influence. But if you are not, there are also programs that you can develop that can reach out to your communities. I'm not necessarily a politician, but the reason that I created the schools that I did was to reach out to the communities with my skill. You cannot live on this earth and not have a skill. And you cannot live on this earth and not have something to impart to somebody else. That's just the flow. That's the way that things are supposed to go. And then the second thing that I would say is important is I really, really believe in liberating the mind of the African girl. You don't have to be born in America. You don't have to be born in Europe or in any country that is considered first world to do something great. I recently read an article about a Senegalese born CEO who came up with autonomous invention. And that invention was actually bought by Amazon for billions of dollars. And nothing about her original context or environment spoke to the fact that she would get to that position. But because, again, vision plays a role here, she had a vision for her life. She was able to see what she wanted to see ahead and only be mindful of her immediate environment in order to maneuver and get herself to her vision. And then again, I think it's also important that girls learn that the challenges that you face, they are to refine you and not to define you. You have to know your worth. No matter what you are going through, it is just a season. And the moment that you begin to tap into blessings and opportunity, that is destiny. And once we have girls that are living according to their destiny, when they tap into opportunities, when they tap into blessing, they go there to thrive and not to survive. Because the problem is, if you are somebody who wants to survive instead of thriving, you will pursue a lifestyle instead of building a legacy. And you are comfortable when you are thriving in the environment where you are, and you are there to grow in the environment, and you are there to multiply in the environment because you have a vision and you are there to thrive, and survival is not on your mind.
That I can't wait to watch the replay. I don't know who's watching, but I couldn't even write enough. Oh my goodness! Even the obstacles, even the challenges, they are meant to refine you, not define you. Man, somebody
Yes.
put that in the comments. Doc, Doc? Oh my god, that's so much. There's so much there. Live according to your destiny. Sis,
Yes.
this is good.
Oh, it's been a
This
journey.
is so good. This is
Thank you.
so good. We're getting ready to let Palile go, but I just want you to chime in, and we're gonna let her go down, and we're gonna move on. But what you think about my girl?
Have you written a book yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Let me
No.
tell you something. You have wisdom and insight that it needs to be left in the earth.
Mm.
Please, the words, the wisdom, the inspiration. I encourage you, write a book about modern
Mm.
day wisdom and let that
Mm.
live long after you're gone. You're a very
My
wise
God.
lady. Man, thank you
My
so
God.
much.
Thank you,
My
Dr. Rivers.
God.
Thank you. I take that. I take that. I
Yes.
receive it.
Yeah, indeed, 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 indeed. The word has been spoken. You just received that for sure. That's awesome. All right,
Yes.
all right. Palila, you staying with us, right? You with us?
Yes, I'll be on.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be
That's
on.
incredible, guys. Make sure you're putting in the comments your takeaways because she dropped so many that oh my goodness. What? Liberate the mind. Liberate your
We
mind
need
of the
to liberate
African
it.
people.
We need to. Yes. We don't want to do what we used to do in a new context. Let the mind be liberated.
Mm. Woo, that just got my heart singing. You got my heart singing and dancing. We kick it off strong, guys. So you guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Oh my goodness, we are ready. Now let me tell you something. One part of today is we have some amazing young ladies that are going to share this platform, and they're going to serve as moderators with me, right? So I want to first introduce my two moderators. Let me see where they're at. Let me bring them up. Let me find them, and then we're going to move right along. We're going to move right along. Let me find them. Okay, first up. Let's see where she's at. Okay, I see Miss Caitlin. If you want to just introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you hailing from. Go right ahead.
My name is Caitlin Black. I'm a proud member of the BlessedGirls. I'm 14 and I am diligent.
I am diligent. Ah, come on, y'all. And so I want you to show some love to Caitlin Black. She is here. She is serving as a moderator today. We are super excited about her. Aside from her advocacy, understand. Listen, when you go to what your Instagram, she's got Instagram, YouTube, and she about it, y'all. She about the movement and supporting. Ain't that right, sis?
Yes.
So we're excited that you're here today, and we're gonna move right in. I'm gonna move out the way, and I'm going to let Caitlin take the next two speakers. I love it when we can allow our girls to flourish and take the lead. So you guys show some love to Caitlin. All right, Caitlin, I'm gonna step away. Who do we have next?
We have Dr. Linda Lara. Dr. Linda Lara, according to her, every person has the potential to change the world, and each of us has a moral obligation to find and build that potential for the betterment of humankind. She is an entrepreneur, award-winning community change maker, in-demand trainer, and professional speaker. Together with her husband of 46 years, Dr. Laura co-founded the Firehouse Community Development Corporation in 2008, which develops at-risk youth. They strive to help every at-risk youth that enters their program to become successful in life and achieve their dreams and passions, goals, and desires. She also founded the Future Elite Academy, which is training men and women into their purposes, gifts, and calls. I love that about because everybody has a gift, a call, and a purpose in their life, even though they may not know it, but they do. Now I like to bring Dr. Linda Lara to the table.
Hi, Caitlin. Thank you for your introduction. I just want to say what an awesome speaker that was before me. Wow. I'm just in awe
Dr.
of
Linda
what
Lara, how are you?
I am so fine. Thank you so much for your invitation. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be a voice. I believe as women, it is our time, it is our day, it is our season to arise and shine.
All right, Caitlin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go ahead and you can start start the questions for Dr. Linda.
Okay. My first two questions for her is which one of the 4 C's is crucial in today's world and why? And which of the 4 C's do you feel is the least addressed or talked about in your community?
Well, I would like to say that the most important C that I believe is community. And why community? Because it is where we live, it is the neighborhood, it is the center of our everyday life. And if we don't get involved in our community and find out what's going on, we are going to allow situations to arise that we're not going to agree with. So we got to get out there and we got to be the ones that go into the community and seek out the answers. You know, if we don't know what a problem is, we can't find the solution. So as solutionists, or as I am the solution, I believe that it is my responsibility to go out there into the community and find out what is happening, what is going on. You know, for so long, we've been in the indoors and just taking things by, you know, what we hear on TV or what we see on Facebook, instead of going out there and really going into the communities and asking the hard questions. You know, and some of the hard questions some people don't want to answer. But you know what? As a solutionist, because I am a solution, it is time to go ask the hard questions. Why is this taking place? Why is this being allowed to happen? Why are these things not being addressed? Why are we allowing these different incivility situations to take place and not wanting to get the answers, the truth? Because if we are indoors and we are not out in our community, we're only going to hear the problems, and they're not going to be solved according to the way we believe they should be solved. We have a solution: civility first. And that is the answer to my to your other question. I believe civility should be first. But if we're not demonstrating what civility looks like, then we are allowing others to go in and bring solutions that have nothing to do with our beliefs, what we believe to be true. And that is that civility should be known to every person on this earth. We should think civility first. If we think about others before we think about ourselves, we are going to begin to do the right things. So I truly believe that we need to go out into the community and ask the hard questions and get answers, the right answers, and not be satisfied with the wrong answers, and keep asking and asking and asking until we get the solution that we know will bring civility to the whole world.
Okay, on to the next 2 questions. What role do you see women playing in creating a more civil society, and how do you press forward in the face of adversity, such as inequalities, such as racial and gender-based bias?
Well, what role do I see women playing? I truly believe that we have a major role. You know, there's a lot of different sayings that different people say about women: happy wife, happy life. So, you know, that just tells you that we are in control of different situations. And as women, we set the atmosphere to a happy home, to a loving home, or how the day is going to play out by our attitude of the day. So we have to continuously, as women, be in charge of creating a positive atmosphere. We are the ones that really set the tone in most situations. You know, as women, we got to begin to see ourselves as the helper that God called us to be. I'm a woman of faith, and so I believe that God is truly in control of our lives. And I believe he raised us up to be helpers. It says that he gave man a helpmate. And I like to tell my husband all the time, I take my job serious. So it is not so that we can control, it is that we can come side by side with the men and help them in the areas that they do not see. We're more passionate, Okay, we're just happen to have more passion, and we're more emotional than men, and we got to channel those emotions and those passions in the right direction and stand side by side our husbands or men that are moving and shaking and creating right now, and be helpmates and help them to make the right decisions. Yes, as women, we need to stand up. We need to be the voice. There are so many women in this world right now that have a critical role to play in what the next move of God is going to be, and the next move of what the situation is going to be in this world. You know, a lot of people are in fear right now. A lot of people are looking for somebody to give them answers. And as we grow up in our thoughts, as we grow forth and just allow our passion to be passionate about what is going on, we are going to begin to see a difference. I truly believe we are right now at a critical place. We are at a place where we're going to have to shout the loudest. Women, we need to take our places, and we need to declare that we are going to rise up together in unity, in one accord, no longer being competitive about what one is doing, what the other one is not doing. We need to join forces together and make a difference.
Powerful, Dr. Linda. I even saw it, and it's so interesting when you said that, because I remember even a prophecy that I had received, and it was about like an army of women. Mm-hmm. Right, like coming together, right, and marching forward, and it's just incredible, that just the power of even in your words today, and I just want to say thank you, because I love that. I took down so many things, but when you said it's time for us to be the voice, right, to be the voice and use the voice, that spoke a lot to me too, because I remember again, where we have a voice but it's so suppressed, right, that we don't feel like we can use our voice. It's almost like the enemy takes our voice away, but it's there, right? It does everything so that we cannot speak, we cannot sing, we cannot write, but the world needs our voice. And you said civility first. Guys, put that in the comments. Civility first, and that's all about leading with love, right? Treating others the way you want to be treated. Like, that's the number one thing that we do. And it's time for us to demonstrate. And I like that. Ask the hard questions. Ask the hard questions. And we are not free to do that in a lot of cases, in a lot of environments. And that's what needs to change and needs to shift. I hear Doc is here. You got anything? Did you hear Dr. Linda? Anything you want to add before she answers her last two questions?
Dr. Linda Lara is a total civility icon. This woman, I'm telling you, her voice needs to be heard all over the world, and her concept, civility first. We are going to be taking that this actual week. I'll be working with her, going to some law enforcement agencies and see how we can work to bring civility first. So Dr. Linda, I want to thank you for being a pioneer voice, as a female, bringing civility first. It's heroic.
Yeah, absolutely. That is just so, and the one thing she said, that we set the temperature. and it's that right there, because I say that all the time. You know what? There's a thermometer and there's a thermostat. Now, when I come in the room, I set the temperature. Now, whatever happens, whatever got to change and shift, that's one of my mottos, Dr. Linda. So you're talking right today. you are certainly talking right. And I know Missionary Jane, she's coming up. And on our last talk, she talked about, even when we talk about climate change, that even us as women, we could change the climate. Look, wherever we go, we have the power to even change the climate. So you guys, there's so much synergy. We're walking heavy today. Thank you, Dr. Linda.
If you hear any noise,
it ain't the boys. It's ladies. That's it. And hashtag I am the solution. So, okay, we're going to move out the way. I'm going to bring Caitlin back up. Let me find.
My last two questions for Dr. Linda is, what advice would you give to your 13-year-old self? And what are two solutions for today's women to build civility in our culture?
Well, I'd have to really talk to my 13-year-old self, because my 13-year-old self was the opposite of what I am right now. But you know what? I would begin to tell myself that, listen, girl, you are a solution. You have a solution. You walk in what God has gifted you to walk in. Do not allow anyone to steal your platform. Do not let anybody take from you what it belongs to you. Stand firm in what you believe to be true, and do not waver in that truth. Girl, you're only 13-year-old right now, but wait until you continue to grow in the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding that I have created you to be. And do not take no for an answer. Do not take the back seat, but you be the forerunner. You be the voice that needs to be heard. You stand up and you say the truth of what the truth is, no matter what it may be. And know that you are called for this day, this time, this hour. Be confident in who you are, and do not ever let anybody tell you anything that's contrary to who you think and who you believe you are. And for the next question, provide two solutions. Number one, as I said before, civility first. If we think and act and talk and purposely and intentionally think civility first, we are going to make such a great impact, because before we say anything negative, before we say anything hurtful, we're going to think civility. How am I going to help the situation? How am I going to bring peace to the situation instead of adding fire to the coal and making it even burn more? How am I going to put water on this situation? How am I going to be able to bring peace into this situation? Because I'm thinking civility first. And number two, show up big. Show up big. Come on. Show up like you own the stuff. Show up like you have the solution. Never come to the table and say, I have a suggestion or I have a thought. No. Dr. Clyde says, I have a solution. So go up there with confidence, with boldness, knowing that the solution is civility first. And that is what is going to bring change. And know with confidence and boldness that that is what the world needs today. That is what we are lacking. And do not sit in the back seat or take the second seat. Be first. Show up big.
I love it. I love it. That is all about, that's what Blessed Girls is. Be bold, be you, and be blessed, girl. So that show up big. That's it right there. Listen, you can just put a fork in me because I'm done. Show up big. I love your two. Of course, civility first. And you know what? That's just about being a woman, you know, you learning even, you know, in relationships and things like that. Like they say, you can, you know, you with honey, right? You can draw better with honey than a lemon, right? So you have to learn that, you know what? I can bring the peace. I could bring the help or I could bring the wrath. Either way, that's powerful, right? That's powerful. So you have to learn that, you know, and that's learning, that's maturity, right? But your two solutions are powerful. Listen, they are saying, stand up, be the voice, show up. Angela Lassiter, you're right. Show up big. And we have to even really teach our women and teach our girls. You don't have to show, you know, we say something, we talk and we train in Blessed Girls about the shadow section. People will come into a room and they just want to be hidden. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to speak, right? And they really do have something to add value. But we have to teach them, listen, be comfortable and showing up big. come boldly, right? Oh man, Dr. Linda, these These are powerful. These are powerful. Show up big. That's my mom, Elizabeth. There, she's saying show up big. Reverend Ivy, yes, I have the solution. So this is just powerful. So I thank you so much for your words of wisdom, for your leadership, for all that you're doing and all that you're going to be doing. Of course, in this season, in this time, in regards to moving civility forward. So I just thank you, Doc. You got anything else to add before we move on?
Yeah. See, one of the important things that's taking place now is we're building our own stage. Let me tell you something. I had a gentleman call me last week and wanted me to run to be the president of America. An actual wealthy guy wanted to fund me, and I said, "No." I said, "I already own the stage, and I'm not going to let you own the stage. You're not going to buy me and try to buy my stage." What I see taking place here is people, you are creating a stage. Let me tell you what true leadership is. Leadership isn't leading people. It is being the one that everybody calls first about a specific narrative. They said, we got to talk to Anana. And when they begin to call you from the whole world, you know you're the leader. So, Dr. Linda, Dr. Nana, keep building your own stage. Never, ever sell your stage because hear this, no one called you but God, and no one can afford you but God.
Drop the mic. You got that, Dr. Linda?
I got it. If Dr. Ripper says it, I got it.
Got it. Indeed. So powerful. Those are some of the first lessons he teaches us, is to own it, own who you are, and be number one. Be number one. So thank you so much, Doc.
Very good.
All right. So you guys, again, put in those comments, hashtag, make sure you're sharing the broadcast as we move forward, because listen, we're just getting started. That's only the first of two. So hold on tight. Make sure you share, you commenting, hashtag I am the solution, hashtag BlessedGirls. We are doing it. Any takeaways, make sure you share them, because if not for you, it's for someone else. And I'm sure everyone is learning from these amazing women today. So let me bring up our blessed girl again. Because we know the future is female, and we are moving right out the way and letting our girls take the platform, take the stage, and do what they do. All right, Caitlin, you ready? Who's up next?
We have next is Miss Soyam Shah of Kenya, Africa. Soyam Shah of Nairobi, Kenya, pursued her higher education at a renowned university in Dubai. She has a MSc in marketing and communications. She immediately joined the family business and has been working with the Kingsway Group of companies for the last 8 years, and has experience in hospitality and electronic industry, having been on the manager of the five-star boutique hotel, The Tribe and Trademark. She has also served as the marketing director for Creative Innovations Ltd. She is currently the executive director of Kingsway Group Ltd. And handles a varied portfolio of HR, operations, sales, and marketing communications. Since the tender age of 6 years, she had the passion to serve the needy and less fortunate, and had the rare opportunity of going with her grandmother and parents, who are Lions members, on many service and humanitarian missions. Soyam has been a devoted social and community worker for over 2 decades. She is a very passionate in giving her leadership and working with the youth to inspire them to carry out social service. In her younger days in high school, she had the opportunity of forming a Leo club and carrying out several needy service activities. She served as the Leo club president, giving inspiration and leadership for over 4 years of this Leo club. This inspired her to continue being a dedicated volunteer and become the active member of the Lions Clubs International. So the first two questions that I have for Miss Soyam Shah, is which one of the 4 C's is crucial in today's world and why? And which of the 4 C's do you feel is the least addressed or talked about in your community?
Afternoon from wherever in the world you're watching. Thank you to Dr. Anana for having me on this program in this wonderful summit. And thank you to my mentor, Sir Clyde Rivers, for giving me a lot of opportunities. Well, I come from Nairobi, Kenya, and one of the most crucial in today's world, in my opinion, is the climate change. We've all been seeing it right in front of our eyes. And what it's doing is causing a lot more of respiratory diseases, cancers, and a lot more health-related issues. Also, in a larger part of the world, you can always see animals and sea life suffering in silence, and they cannot express themselves, and many more world issues resulting in climate change. There are severe droughts all around the world, and in the part that I live in, we always see droughts every so often, and it's a very painful situation. On the contrary, you can go to a country like Japan with what you've seen in the news, and there is a lot of droughts, a lot of floods at the moment. So I'm very blessed that in Kenya, we've been able to work as we have the UNEP headquarters in Nairobi. We have been working with the UNEP and the government, who have been taking this issue very seriously for the betterment of our people and our country. And together, what we are doing is we've already started banning plastic. We've started banning a lot of harmful toxins and environments, and we've all been going very eco-friendly to everything that we can do. We've also been investing in a lot of communications, educations, and policies. Because if we don't make the change now with the help we can, we won't be able to live a longer life in the future, and our next generations will also not be able to live a longer life. To answer your next question, is in the part of Africa that I come from, civility is the least addressed or talked about in our communities. It's really, really sad. A lot of you may know or may not know, but in Kenya, we have the largest slum, which is the Kibera. Most of the poor communities and villages where survival is at the utmost importance, they have a lot of ethnic disbeliefs and a quest for power in the middle class and the rich societies, where we have seen incivility. It's really sad that even living in Africa, the poverty line is so low and the population of poverty is so high. Hence, that it's so easy to watch on TV. It's so easy to see outside the window. It's so easy to talk about people not having food, how people live, how people don't have a sewage system, how people do not have fresh water, they don't have sanitation. It's so easy to talk about how people are living and judge them and criticize them in our parts of the world. However, the question is, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about any of it? What is anyone doing about it? So that's why advocacy and education is so important in this part of the world to promote civility. So something that we have started off with is that as I was growing up, I was fortunate to have formed something called the Leo Club. And Leo Clubs are in schools where we can now start educating the youth from a really young age and condition their brains that instead of going outside and driving past and seeing things, that let's try and do something about it. In today's world, we get so oblivious of all the necessities and all the goods and all the luxuries that we have around us that we actually just forget. Like we're like, oh, poor him. But what do we actually do? So this is the method that we have come up with to start building Leo clubs in schools and start going to our Leo clubs and teaching and conditioning kids from a tender age of 10 to 16 to try and condition them at the most vulnerable to install this as part of their life, to make it inhabited and grown with them. Because if we don't make the change now, then who's going to address this in the future? Over to you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. My next two questions are: what role do you see women playing in creating a more civil society? And how do you press forward in face of adversity such as inequalities, such as racial and gender-based bias?
Well, thank you for that question. And I firmly believe that women have a definite role to play in promoting civility. Well, I have personally witnessed, especially in many places of work, and there is a severe challenge of women mistreating other women. I can share with you my example. When I finished my education and I started working in my family business, I was the first female in a male-dominated industry. One of the companies that we have been working the longest is in the tire industry, and and our company's legacy is 60 years old. And only in the past 5 years did they ever allow a woman in our business, and that was me. It was a lot of turmoil, it was a lot of resentment, it was a lot of hardship. However, the through the perseverance and the support of my father, I was able to pull through. And from having one woman in 5 years out of 600 employees, now I'm really proud to say that we managed to get 45 women in a male-dominated industry. But that's not only to say the least. What happened is we started a vocational program where where we can even train women to be mechanics, tire fitters, to do the jobs that men were only known to do in this part of the world. And now even our workshop staff, which are tire fitters and our mechanics, are 50% of our employees, which is enormous and it's tremendous in this part of the world. And imagine a woman in the garage fitting your car and being so empowered to do a male's job. Then this is what happened, that we ended up having more women-based um, women-based foundations where we could be able to now support women in driving in public transport, because here in Kenya we have something called matatus, and it's only a male-dominated industry. And in the past 2 years, we're happy to support like 50 women who have already started enrolled in our program. And as we grow in longer, as we grow in more, we will be able to get more women drivers. We've also been working with women taxi drivers. So there's a lot of opportunity that we've seen with women that we're doing, and a vocational program. And what is making women do male jobs is what is empowering them, what is giving them an opportunity and a platform to actually do even more than they can actually that they and challenge them. In addition to that, we've also started microfinance programs under our foundation and empowering women with like whatever they can do and finding their passion. It's really important for women to find their passion. It's not okay for them to be told what to do anymore. It's only okay for having them to actually do what makes them happy, what empowers them. So that is my take on women playing a civil role. And there is an opportunity that women can be our future leaders and our ambassadors for civil society. I know that in our part of the world, we're definitely going to have more women ambassadors. Going forward, in the face of adversity, such as inequalities, racial, and gender bias, I'm a firm believer that being civil is not necessarily about compromise. Losing opinions or admitting fault, but seeking to listen, to learn, embrace, and not fear differences in the way we think, steering away from intimidating, bullying, shaming, blaming, name calling, belittling others. Building a circle of civility begins with understanding and our internal biases. It's a place, a co-responsibility in recognizing and being responsible for the way we interact with others and our respect to one another.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You know, Soyam, you come in real meek, Soyam, but you start walking real heavy. At first I was like, okay. Then you just ended like bullying, shaming. That's what I'm talking about. We got to talk about these things, the name calling that really is happening. I mean, you are such a trailblazer because, you said you were the first woman ever, right? I guess in the tire industry. And so you didn't just be the first. You said now it's 45 women or 60 women. What's the number?
25%. So that's almost half.
Wow.
That's
Oh my
all.
God. You are so powerful. And when we talk about really being a change agent, right? So it's not even just that you did it, but then you made sure you laid a path and just a pathway for other women to come behind you, right? And then the programs and the training, this is what it's about. Right? We can't just talk about it. We got to be about it. We have to be in action and the practice of it to where we are creating real change. Doc, you got anything before we give her last questions? But I got a lot to say. Guys, any takeaways? You talked about women being the ambassadors. Hold on, let me get Doc up here. But this is some good stuff, Soyam. Thank you so much. Doc, I think I'm bringing you up. Here you go. Okay.
Yeah. First of all, Soyam Shaw is one of the greatest. There's got to be a new word for an entrepreneur humanitarian because what she is our 2020 global youth icon, and that was for a reason. She
Right.
gets the job done. She was a pioneer and she blazed a trail for others. And I have to give a shout out to her father and mother, Mano Shaw. You don't find anyone better. He's one of the greatest humanitarians in the world. Jana Shaw, they're amazing.
Wow.
Soyam, I told you, Anana, I go, she's one of the best in the world, and you got her first on your platform. World, I introduce you to Soyam Shaw. You will hear about this young lady all over the globe. Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's so powerful. And I love it because it's action. This is what is happening. Talking about the droughts and the floods and climate change. As someone in your position in leadership to really put that as that's the number one thing for you, one of the top C's for you, I'm impressed and I'm thankful for that, for you even sharing, even about, and again, I shared about Landra. She said that it really comes down to science and people not understanding that, but you even bring it even medically, that a lot of the diseases and the viruses, I'm sure, certain things that are happening is due to climate change. I don't know if you want to talk more about that because I know you led with that, but that is so powerful. How did you come to make climate change your number one C for today?
Because when you live in Africa and when you see how homes are being made and when you see how the infrastructure is, when you see how the sewage system is, it's not only about sticks and mud to make your houses. What people are using in the slums is actually plastic bags around them and about tin and metal and a lot of harmful metals that there's so many underlining underlining issues, like because they don't even have floors, people get other issues that people probably don't even know about. Like one of them is jiggers. Jiggers are like foot diseases, elephantitis, because of people just using plastic and whatever they can get for cheap resources or what's in the garbage and building houses like that. Can you just imagine what people go through just because of their living standards? And if we don't help them in their sanitation, in finding ways to get them water, to get them the infrastructure they need, to get them a roof over their head, even if it's tin roofs, or even if it's using wood, because of the issues that we have. Imagine how much they go through and what they use. And then on top of that, being in Africa, having a healthcare system which is not as advanced as we would like it to be, and facing all these issues, you can just imagine that, yes, I'm so blessed I live in Nairobi, but what happens in all the cities around us where there is no hospitals, there's no education, there is
Yes.
no knowledge of what it is. I can tell you that when you come here, and I would take you to the Western Kenya, and you see how people live with jiggers in their foot. It's as easy as just giving them a solution of taking a recyclable tire and making a slipper for them just to protect their feet. I mean, just using recyclable materials to even make shoes goes a long way in saving their health and their lives. But people don't think about it. People just, how are it's such a stigma, and it's naming, blaming, shaming. What are they wearing? But have you actually thought about what they go through, how they live? So that's how it
Soil.
comes to, if you don't put a change somewhere, what are you going to do?
Soil, you are powerful, man. This is exactly what it is, and I'm just so grateful that you even, God gave you the heart, to even ask it. And this goes back to even what Dr. Linda was saying. Ask the hard questions. Are you concerned? What is happening here? Like you said, you live in Nairobi. People will see, if it's comfortable or what have you. But I'm going out there. I'm going into the community, and I'm asking, what is happening, and why is this happening, and what can I do to be the difference? What can I do to help? That's what this thing is all about. Powerful, Soyam. Thank you so much. We're not done with you yet. Let me bring Caitlin up. I'm gonna move out the way. I know we gotta move on, but you touched on so many incredible things, which is about hashtag I am the solution. Soyam is the solution. I'm gonna move back. Caitlin, you come back up to the screen. I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, it is wonderful that more women are being active in male dominated jobs, because at one point when women were just starting to be able to have jobs, males were getting more paid than women. And also that it's great that women are seeking their purposes. And it's kind of connected to Dr. Laura and her thing that she and her academy that she founded, which was the Future Elite Academy, which they are training men and women into their purposes, gifts, and calls. And the last two questions that I have for you is, what advice would you give to your 30-year-old self, and what are two solutions for today's women to build civility in our culture?
Well, thank you. And just before I answer what advice I would give to my 13-year-old self, I just want you all to think about that 13-year-old girl somewhere where she doesn't even have a word. There's something that we face in Kenya with 13-year-old and young girls, and I'm sure in a lot of parts of in Africa, is the mother-child mortality. I'm sure you've all learned about it, where a 13-year-old girl doesn't even have a chance to go to 14, where her father could even take her womanhood, and she's getting child marriage and everything that you ever say. So it's always important to think about those girls who don't have a chance. And we need to be there for those 13-year-old girls. And that's why my advice to my 13-year-old self is to seek positive behavior into all areas of life. Promoting civility is not just a game, it's a face that you wear. It's a true improvement of optimization of interpersonal behavior, which is practiced towards becoming a positive habit. So that positivity is everything. Positivity is the solution. And one of the solutions that I would encourage women today is that women are encouraged to model the behavior you would like to see from others. Do unto others as you would have them to unto you. This would help in building civility in our culture. And my second solution that I'd like to share with you is women should not, and I repeat, should not let their silence condone disrespectful behavior, yet consider when and where to speak up. And lastly, I would just like to say that a great solution has worked for me personally is to collaborate with your friends the people around you, and define and apply respectful behaviors. So thank you all for having me. And thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Anana.
Thank you.
And thank you, Sir Cloud Rivers.
No, thank you, Soyam. I know, what time is it now for you in Kenya?
It's 10:20 at night.
10:20. I appreciate you for even just staying up, hanging out with us late tonight.
But I'm a fan of yours, so I always do follow you.
I cannot wait to meet you in person and to continue, the dialogue, the work, and supporting girls and women around the world. So, Blessed Girls is certainly excited to continue this relationship and to continue building. You are the solution. You are truly a Blessed Girl ambassador, civility ambassador. You are doing such incredible things. You are an example. I can't wait to have you even share the platform and speak and and share, continue this even with our girls. It's just powerful. So I thank you for being that real everyday hero, right? That can encourage and help us promote this civility and make a difference as we go forward. So thank you so much. I know that they're putting things in the comments you'll get to see, but I hope you can stay. We got two more to go. But I appreciate you. You are a true giant in today's society. Yes, they're saying thank you. I wanted to just put some of those up on the screen. I'm just honored to give you this platform for the world to hear your voice, hear your experience, the things that you see, and you speak such from a human perspective. You come in with so much humility, you being a true humanitarian, and getting us to think about that 13-year-old girl. I mean, you just, and that's what I loved about the question. Like, let's go back and let's think about a 13-year-old girl who's becoming a child bride, who is being violated, and her whole human rights are just wiped away, even at 13. Like her whole life, if you will, has been forecasted totally different. Just powerful. Really, really powerful. So thank you. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I really wish that to work with you, and I invite you to Kenya, and I really want to work with all the other Blessed Girls. And you know what? We are the change. We are going to be the change, and we will be the change.
Indeed. And that's it. The time is now. We are the solution. We can't wait for anybody to come and save us, right? And make the difference. Give us permission. We got to move forward now, because of what they say, the future is female. So thank you again for leading the way, Soyam. And we'll be back. We'll be back. All right. Is that powerful, guys? Are you enjoying today's summit? Are you enjoying these speakers? Because we're not done yet. So again, hashtag I am the solution. Make sure that you have shared this broadcast. Make sure that you're commenting, you're putting in the comments your takeaways. And if you are part of different groups, right? It could be a church group, your sorority, even entrepreneur groups. Share it in other groups. Let people know and hear what is happening around the world and how we are coming together. Women and youth for civility today. Let them know what's going on. And I love the global perspective. She's talking about jiggers. Missionary Jane, she's coming up. She's one of the first people that talked to me about jiggers, and again, about how people are living right around the world. So this is, I'm glad that you're getting to see a little bit of a perspective, right? Especially us here in the US, that we're learning more about different cultures and what girls are going through around the world, and how you too can make a difference. You can be the solution. Hashtag I am the solution. So listen, I have the pleasure of bringing up another one of our amazing Blessed Girls. I hope she is ready. Let me get her off mute and bring her up on here, because we're about bridging the gap and making the connection. So let's see where I can find her. Thank you so much to Caitlin Black, one of our Blessed Girls, for doing the moderating. But next up, Miss Tamia Lewis Saint, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good.
You're good?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. You was born ready, girl. You are ready, ready, ready. So let the audience know who you are and who you have coming up next. So we're glad that you're here today.
Okay. Hi, my name is Tamila Singh. I'm a proud member of the Blessed Girls group with my advisor, Miss Anana. I am a high school student and I'm 16 years old and I go to St. Vincent Academy in Newark, New Jersey. And I am the solution. Next up, we have Miss Jane Wanja Kumu. She is a Kenyan volunteer missionary based in Brunaduni since April 2012. She is 38 years old, born again, and a mother of 4, 3 boys and a girl, passionate in reaching out to the whole man with love of Christ. She is a managing director of Wide Range Pleasant Products and Services, company and founder, Brunadini Community Outreach Missions. Some of her achievements are she's done exploration of flowers to floral and horn auction markets for 6 years from Kenya and 1 year from Brunaduni. Are you ready for the questions? I can't
Yes, I
see.
am. Hello.
My screen is black.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes, I
now, but my
can.
screen was black before.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome, Missionary Jane. We're so happy to have you today.
Woo, I'm happy too.
All right. Tamia, can you go ahead and give her questions?
Yes, the first 2 questions are which one of the 4 C's is crucial in today's world and why? And which of the 4 C's do you feel is the least addressed or talked about in your community?
Good. Thank you so much. I send greetings and love from Burundi, and I do really appreciate every participant tonight. I've been learning a lot, a lot, a lot. Thank you so much, Sister Dr. Anana, for giving us such a wonderful platform to speak to the world, to speak to the women, to speak to the blessed girls that we are the solution. So, the most important for me and in my community, I think it is the community, because the community are the people, and we are the solution. If the community is not empowered spiritually, in the mindset, even physically, then civility will not happen, creativity will not come to place, climate change will not happen. So to me, the very most C over the 4 C's is a community, because community, it is you and me. If I am empowered, then I'll become creative. If you are like trained to be civil with your fellow partner and with your fellow person, then you will change the climate, will become the change that is needed in the whole world. So I go for the community, that we need to get concerned with the hearts of people, all that we are, or maybe the Jane that I am today, it is not the physical one that you can see here. It is the Jane who is inside me. If I am wounded, then I will wound the community around me. But if I feel blessed, if I feel loved, if I feel cared for, then I will just give out the same to the world. So thank you so very much. And I believe the most important C for me is a community, because, like God began creating, he created everything, he set the foundation for the humanity. And when he got ready with everything, he was like, now let me bring up a man in my own image and likeness, so that he can become the steward. He takes care of what I've put in place. I love community. I love the hearts of people. I love seeing people empowered. The world we are living in is so challenging. The situations are so difficult, and you are not able to know sometimes the decisions to make. But community, it is you, it is me. And I think we are the most important C among the four Cs. So in my community, I'm currently in Burundi, and what I feel is the most less considered is the creativity. I've realized that people have a lot of creativity, and creativity comes from God. It is that greatness that is in you, is that greatness that is in me. And if this creativity is not motivated, it is not put into motion, then all your greatness, you go with it to the grave. This has not been taken care of. And women, I think we need to just arise as women and say, I am the solution. I need to help somebody become creative. Because we have all this greatness in the image of God, in his likeness, in his power to create, which is in us. Wow, we need to just come out in my community in Burundi and enhance that creativity in people. I was sharing with my sister, Dr. Anana, maybe some weeks back about the less community that is considered in this country. It is the most vulnerable Batwa community. Those people, when you sit down with them, one, nobody cares for them. But however, when you sit with them, you see there's a lot of creativity in them. They take clay, I don't know how they mix it up, and they make such beautiful pots. Cooking pots, other pots can keep water cold. You don't need a fridge. You use their brain, you use their creativity, and they make pots for you. And you save your money from buying fridge, and in their pots, they keep water very cold and food for a long time, and it doesn't go bad. And I was like, wow, who is supposed to come up and help this creativity be known in the whole world and make it come out in a huge and a big way? And I said, God, give me the grace to become the solution to this creativity that is in the people around me. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for your response. That was a nice takeaway. I agree with you. I believe that we are the community and we are the solution, and through God we can do anything, and he creates everything for us. My next two questions for you are: what role do you see women playing in creating a more civil society? And how do you press forward in the face of adversity, such as inequalities, such as a racial and gender-based bias?
Wow, I love that. I'm a woman. And what do I see for women? I see women taking the lead in positive direction. I want to give an example of Eve. I love referring to the beginning of everything. When they were living in the Garden of Eden, it is a wife, it is a woman who told the man, the fruit is good. Let's enjoy it and eat it. There is power in a woman to take the lead. We have seen the word of God. We have so many women who have taken the lead. We have women who are they are our role model, who take the lead. What we need to do is we need to take our lead in a positive way. I see women starting to take the lead in at the family level and coming to say that I am the solution. If I want my husband to reach his goal, I need to take the lead. First of all, by taking care of his emotional needs. We have to ensure and remember that as women, that the person is inside. The person is not the one that we see physically. It is that greatness, that power of God inside the woman is what we need to empower, is what we need to lead and tell it man, come. You can reach somewhere. You can do something. I want to give you an example with my sons today. I got a very special experience with them. like our firstborn just gave his life to Christ like 3 weeks ago, and he just started to do what he sees us do, like waking up in the morning and praying, interceding. And when I saw him doing that, I took the lead now to help him. How do you plan your prayer agenda? How do you study the word? How do you get to understand it? Now today we had this meeting to expand our ministry. And I tell my son, like, son, we need to go with you. You are now a Christian. You are now a believer. Let's go and help me, like, do 1, 2, 3. Later he came. Yes, I didn't know what was in his heart, but he came. And just be sure, and like, to be on the point, we met that the boy had a duty to play, and he's just 12 years old. And in Africa, to empower a 12 years old, you're like, oh no, we have to wait until they are 20. But I told him, boy, come, let's go. There's something for you to do in the ministry. So when we sat there, I found the person who was in charge of projection was not there. And the boy is good in computers, so he just sat on the table. I just showed him how to scroll down the slides as I present, and he did the job so amazingly. In the afternoon, when we were going back home, he went like, you know what, Mom? When you told me to go, I was feeling like in my heart, no, I can't go. I am not capable. Maybe that would be a big people meeting. I will be bored. But again, I heard the voice of God telling me, go, you will have fun. So he was telling me, wow, I have enjoyed, I've got fun serving. And he was like, Mom, didn't you like the way I served? And I was like, yes, boy, you did an amazing job. I was like, wow, women, we are supposed to take up the lead. And more so, let's begin in our families. How am I a solution in taking up the lead? The ministry that we are operating with, I began it. I came up with the idea and I gave it to my husband. I tell him, my hubby, this is what I'm thinking we need to do in this nation. Plus on top, when we were coming here, the Lord spoke to me. Sometimes I used to ask God, why did you have to speak to me? You didn't speak to my husband. This is an indicator that women, we have to take up the lead. I see women taking up the lead of the change. I don't see the women in Africa sitting down in the kitchen. I don't see the women like waiting for their husband to give them money to eat, but taking up a positive lead that will bring up the creativity in their children, that will bring up the creativity in the society, that will bring up the civility that we need amongst us. I see women being influencers. We are the best influencers. We carry our children, when they are formed in our wombs, we spend time with them 9 months. And when we give birth to them, we nurse them. The papas get time with them later, but we take up the lead to carry the baby, to bring the baby to the world. Then why do we leave them away? We need to continue taking up the lead and be a solution in the whole world, in the community we are living in.
This is good. I'm just jumping in here. I know we got to move on to the next questions, but you talked about some stuff right here, sis. when you talking about what's inside, people don't see what's really inside of me. Like, that's the real me. And that alone, I can't help it when I see the synergy and the connection. And again, of what we do with Blessed Girls and dealing with that true self-identity, giving the girls an area where they can be who they really are. Because at such a young age, like, the enemy will take that away from them. Society takes that away from them. But who they are on the inside, who God has purposed and called them to be, it's our responsibility, as you're saying, as women, to take the lead and help to bring out the creativity even in our own children. And I would say, even if you don't even have children in the community, it's still our role is to help bring out the creativity in the children, in those that are coming up behind us. That is powerful, and that's exactly what this is about today. You talking good. Women take the lead. Y'all put that in the feed. Women take the lead. Bring up the creativity. And I like the fact that you said the creativity comes from God. And even in that, it's almost what like Sir Clive Rivers was saying, that God called you. He brought this out from us. It didn't come from anywhere else. Right. And sometimes we're looking for validation. We're looking for acceptance. Right. And something that man didn't give you. They don't really understand it. And that's why it's so important, like you said, to have a community, to have a tribe of people who understand you, who love you, and who really can cultivate the creativity and the gifts that are in you. That's just a synopsis of some of the things that you spoke about today. So I appreciate you. I don't know if you want to add anything before we move on, but that it's good. It's good. And I know that even culturally, of course, in African culture, and Soyam spoke about that, that we don't really allow kids to develop their creativity. And I think a lot of the girls spoke about that yesterday, that I think it was Beauty, that, the school system doesn't allow you to be creative. It doesn't allow you to go for your passion, right? The things that you might learn differently. Right? And these children are being lost simply because they think differently. Their creativity, they're drawn to different things. They can't just sit in a classroom and do the same thing and everybody be a nurse, everybody be a lawyer, everybody be a doctor. No, I want to, paint walls, or, it's just, we have to really begin to, and we talk about being the solution, allowing our children to grow and develop in the creativity that comes from God. We need to be able to see that, discern that. Sis, that was good. That was good. And I love the different perspectives and the different experiences that we're hearing today. So thank you. I just had to jump in there and just real quick. So let me bring Tamia back up. Let me find Tamia. All right, Tamia.
Okay.
I moved out the way. Oh, wait a minute. Who's that? Let me see. We do have one gentleman here. I didn't know if he was back, but let me see. Tamia, are you here? There she is. All right, Tamia. I'm going to get out the way.
And please provide to 2 solutions for today's women to build civility in our culture.
Okay, maybe I should start maybe with the advice to the 13 years old self. This is my advice to that girl. I just remember myself a 13 years old girl. Let me make you laugh a little bit. Our African culture is so different. It's like the discipline was like smacking, and your mom just tells you, who are you, and she smacks you, or your dad smacks you when you do wrong. Now, when I was almost like 12 or 13, I could feel so passionately in my heart that I love God so much, and I really loved to see how can I be of importance to service to God. And then I used to love the way my dad and mom used to laugh. They used to talk, and they laugh, they enjoy. So I was like, I want to serve God, and I want to enjoy having a family. But the background that I had, my religion was like, if you serve God, you're not allowed to get married. And if you get married, you can serve God. And I'm here, 12 years old. I'm thinking round and round. I need a family, and I have a passion for Christ. I need a family and a passion for Christ. And I go like, what should I do now? Now I see myself. I remember that time I was in our small kitchen, our mud kitchen, and I was like cleaning the utensils. And I said, okay, let me just open up my heart to my mom and tell her what I feel. Then I told my mom, Mom, this is what I feel in my heart. I love God so much, and I really want to serve in the kingdom. At the same time, I admire the way I see you and dad love, and enjoy life. So I also want to have a family. But the way you've brought me up, if I get married, I won't serve God. And if I serve God, I won't get married. So mom, what do I do amongst this? And mom was like, I don't know what she thought I'm thinking. And she was like, you are just so young to think this. And she took the cooking stick and smacked me on my back and like, Jen, get out of the house and clean your utensils from outside, yeah? And I was like, God, I was just pouring out my hurt. So since then I said like, now from now onwards, no sharing what I feel in my heart. I just keep it up. And all my greatness was like, the enemy's plan was like to pull down my greatness, the greatness that was in me, that I don't sprout it out for the glory of God, for the edification of the body of Christ. Now, he didn't manage it. When I turned 20 years old, Christ won my heart and I got born again and I made my right decision and I said, it is Jesus. I am following him. And right now I am serving him like I spoke when I was 12 years old. I am serving in the kingdom of God, and I have a family, serving in my family with 4 kids and my husband. This is my advice to you 13-year-old. I love you so much, and I want to tell you, in you there is a seed of greatness, and it is only you who can roar out to motion. Don't wait for your mom, don't wait for your dad, don't wait for your friends to help you roar out the greatness in you into motion. It is only you who can roar it out. And when people around you see the way you are roaring out the greatness that God has put in you, they will come and back you up. There is always the sovereignty of God. He has given us his greatness in us. But again, this is our responsibility. What are we supposed to do? Just believe in yourself and roar out that greatness in you. And 10 years to come, you will look back and say, wow. 20 years to come, and you go discovering new things. Like our first speaker said, every age, it's not about age. It is you being open to what is around you. Just roar it out, roar out that greatness. Be yourself, move out and believe in yourself. What is your passion? What is that so deep in you? You can write it somewhere. Continue praying about it and seeing how can you roar it out. Yep. What are my 2 solutions? Wow. First one, you are empowered to empower. You are already empowered. As the believers in Jesus Christ, we are already empowered by the power of the Holy Spirit in us. If you've not yet given Christ, the leadership of your life, the leadership of your heart, you need to allow him to empower you. The greatest empowerment would only come from God. Then other people will just come to partner with you, to partner with the greatness of God in you. So you are empowered to empower another person. Fellow woman, fellow lady, fellow blessed girl, it is our time to empower others because God has empowered us. And not only God, your parents, our husbands, our brothers, our sisters, the community around us has already empowered us. Can we go out and empower somebody out there? Can we just look for a need that we can reach out to? Spiritual. Go and empower somebody the way you are empowered. In the relationship wise, empower your family, empower the community around you, empower the nation, empower the whole world because you have the power and the greatness of God inside you. 2, I will quote in the word of God that I will just paraphrase and say, those who are faithful with little can be trusted with much. The littleness, don't despise the littleness that you feel inside you. Don't despise the little greatness that is inside you. Just be faithful with it. However small you feel you are, You can ask several people who have grown to another level. They didn't despise their humble beginning. Be faithful with the little, and God is going to ensure that you are entrusted with much. Thank you so very much.
Your responses, that was very well. Those were all my questions that I had. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, how about Missionary Jane? Was she awesome or what?
Yes.
Yeah, I like her two solutions. And to be faithful with little, and you become a ruler over much, and you are empowered to empower others. And I know that that's certainly even what you do as a blessed girl, helping others, being a leader, that you know that you have the power to empower others, right? And then to continue the civility. So we're going to move right along because time is of essence, and we have one more powerful speaker that I know you have on your list, right? You ready?
Yes.
I'm going to move out the way, and we're going to move out our final. We're coming back to America. We were in Burundi and Kenya, and now we're coming back to the U.S. So we have Dr. Betty Speaks. I'm going to have you introduce her, and we will bring her up to the panel, okay?
Okay.
Tamia, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and introduce Dr. Betty Speaks, and I'll bring her up.
The extraordinaire Dr. Betty Burrows Speaks is an award-winning World Civility Ambassador, Change Nations Black Belt Speaker, International Speaker, multi-best-selling author, certified professional, and Christian coach. The founder of A Life Change Now podcast, host for Overcoming Battles, Army veteran, celebrity publicist for the National Quartet, ambassador to the Veteran Women LLC, global network virtual marketer and entrepreneur, Jesus Woman at Godhead's Ministry, ambassador to the Pink Pulpit Ministry, mastery storyteller, and lastly, a coordinator of publicity events and handles multiple clients.
Hi. Hi, can you see me okay?
That was the introduction. Now, are you ready for the questions?
Yes, I am. How are you? Hello, can you hear me? Anana, can you hear me?
I can't hear her.
You can't hear her? Okay.
No.
Dr. Betty, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But Tamia, you can't hear Dr. Betty?
No.
Okay. All right. We're going to, what I'm probably going to do is I want you to go ahead and give her questions, and then you'll come back out and come back in. And that way you probably can hear her then. All right. Go right ahead.
Can you see me okay?
Which one of the 4 C's is crucial in today's world, and why? Also, which of the 4 C's do you feel is the least addressed or talked about in your community?
Great questions. And first of all, I have to say, Dr. Anana and Sir Clyde Rivers, this has been an amazing 2 days. So to answer your question, and I have heard it all day long, communication is one of my pet peeves, and I believe in communication basically because of what we're doing today. If we don't communicate about what's going on in society, if we don't communicate about problems that we are having, if we just don't communicate at all, nothing will be solved. So you can't get it around in the world or in your life or anywhere without communication, because you won't be able to resolve one thing at all. And one of my favorite singers, Nat Turner, you're probably too young to know about Nat Turner, but Nat Turner quoted that good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. Good communication is the bridge between community and clarity. So that's what we need in the world today is good communication. And I have to also add with that, the two worst things that a person that fears us in our life is communication and death. And I'm not saying people are afraid of dying. They're just afraid of moving to that particular perspective of their life because they have not accomplished anything in life. And how can you accomplish anything in life if you don't communicate to others the things that you want out of life? So that's my first C. And the second C is civility. It's not talked about enough. I hear questions, as I was promoting this event today, people are asking, what is civility? Why are we talking about civility? Are you kidding me? Yesterday just so happened to be Mary McLeod Bethune's birthday, and she was a civility activist, and that was like, what would you, we celebrated her 100 and something is birthday, and that was another question. Why are you celebrating her birthday? Seriously, she was a civil activist. And what I want to tell you about being civility is just like being a woman. I'm looking at my notes now. Civility is an expression and a behavior of beauty. Civility, it requires perfection, patience, self-control, and an environment of leisure. You see, civility is just like being a woman. Civility requires genuine courtesy in the creations of different things that we are exposed to in life. Civility requires one to be an actioncution. And what I mean by taking actioncution, it means that you have to take action on things that need to be executed in life. Civility, again, is just like being a woman. Civility requires you to have a certain type of conduct about yourself, the way you carry yourself, so that when you are exposed to others or when you encounter others, they will know that you are a woman of civility. You are a woman that's promoting civility. Anytime you walk into a building or a meeting or a different atmosphere and someone sees the way that you are conducting yourself, they're going to say, that's that woman who believes in civility. That's that woman that's leading and living by civility.
Yes, thank you.
You're
That was
welcome.
a very great response. My next two questions are, what role do you see women playing in creating a more civil society? And how do you press forward in the face of adversity, such as inequality, such as racial and gender-based biases?
I'm gonna say there's like one word that I have used. You definitely talked about my being in the military. So there's that one word that we all have to use in our life, and that's focus. Follow on course until successful. So I've had the role that we play in our life in creating that civility society is stand focused on the desires of our hearts. If they did it over 200 years ago, we can still do it today. Each year there's a different order of caring about civility. We may move up an inch. We may have moved up an inch over the past 2 months, but that little inch is just not enough. And I have to say, for myself, as a child, I always dreamed of flying, and I'm thinking I wanted to fly, just just fly like birds, you know. And the opportunity presented itself that one day when I was in the military, a friend of mine came to me and she said, when we're on vacation next week, why don't we go hand gliding? And I'm thinking, are you serious? Who goes hang gliding, especially this color? Are you kidding me? So I said I had always wanted to fly. I needed to follow on course until I was succeeded. I had succeeded that mission of flying. So I did. I went hang gliding, and the lesson learned in that was that I had to face some of the questions. A black girl going hang gliding. Seriously, I had to prove that it could be done. And we do that in our jobs today. You have to stay focused. You have to follow on course until you're successful. So I've had to do that in several jobs that I've had, in several events that I've had to attend. I continue to empower others about the fact that all you have to do is stay on course until you are successful at whatever the desires of your hearts are. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yes, I can.
You can hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Thank you for your response. It was a great response. I love the examples that you use, and staying on course as a Black young lady, I find that very inspiring.
Yay.
My next questions are, what advice would you give to your 13-year-old self? And also, please provide 2 solutions for today's woman to build civility in our culture.
My 13-year-old self, I love that question, and I'm going to say stand. You know, I remember as a 13-year-old, and I say that word stand just in literally speaking, when we were kids, we get used to playing certain games. And one of the games that come to mind is dominoes. I don't know if you've played that, because I'm thinking kids don't play dominoes anymore. They do other things. But there was one thing that we used to do as children was we would stand all the dominoes up and then push the finger so they all will fall. Do you remember that? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
You stand the dominoes up and then just press the first one so that each and every one of them will fall. Well, as I got older, and I'm thinking, well, what's the real purpose behind the dominoes? I know certainly you cannot just have those the purpose can't be to stand them up and watch them fall. Why not stand them up and separate them just a little so the last man could still be standing? Why not stand them up as a child? I'm thinking of this as at the age of 13. Why do they all have to fall? Who's going to be the leader if they all keep falling down? Who's going to be left in charge? Who's going to carry on the baton if you allow everyone to fall? If you stand for nothing, you won't stand for anything at all. I'm thinking, why? Why can't I stand? Why can't just one of them stay standing? So I take that, as I said before, if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. So I wanted all of my dominoes to stay standing. As a 13-year-old, I want to stay standing. I do not want to be left behind and falling in the threshold with those that are not standing for something in life.
Thank you. That was a very great response. And those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Question for Dr. Betty. Or at least she didn't give us her 2 solutions.
Yes.
Let's get your 2 solutions, Dr. Betty.
Yes, you know what? I am the solution. I actually I love the fact that the first thing about being a part of a solution is ridding yourself of fear. And in order to communicate with others, you have to step outside of the box of fear, and you have to allow another person to know that you are not communicating in fear. That's pretty much where we are today. That's why I appreciate being a part of this platform, a worldwide platform, and we're speaking to others about civility, and we're speaking out of fear. We're literally humming in on, listen, it is all about civility right now. So you have to, Brittany last night just knocked it out of the ballpark. All of the speakers did. But I tell you, I found myself shouting today and yesterday because each and every speaker that got on this platform were speaking out of fear. So I repeat, I am about the solution. And yes, Betty Speaks is my real name. And I am that person that want to continue to voice the I am speaking the solution to everyone, and I want to speak it out of fear. That's the first one. And the second one is being that actioncutionist. And I know that word is probably not in the dictionary, but Sir Clyde Rivers gave me that word maybe a couple of years ago. Being that actioncutionist, at first I was thinking, that's a strange word, but it takes one to execute, to take action on execution. We would not be celebrating this event today had Dr. Anana not taken action and then executing it on civility. You see, someone has to start somewhere, and I could see in the next 300 or 400 years there being a Dr. Anana Day as a result in what we are doing today. So yes, we have to take execution on the things that we know that are needed in our world today to resolve certain issues that are being exposed. Did you freeze up on me again?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Dr. Nana. As I was thinking, I think she froze up on me, but I wanted to add to that, being that actioncutionist is the point, I'm thinking about sometimes when you're in a room, there's an ant and an elephant. I want to be that elephant. I want to roar because you can't hear an ant say anything or do anything. So yes, thank you, Mama Phifer. So let's be that elephant in the room. You hear people say, "There's an elephant in the room." We're the roars. Blessed girls, I love you.
Yes, I love it. I love your two solutions about getting rid yourself of fear. Rid yourself of fear. And even when you feel the fear, still use your voice, still communicate, and be about the solution. And that being an executionist, that's the word we're going to put that. I'm putting that in the glossary for Blessed Girls. We are executionists. See, did you think you were going to learn a new word today? You came to the summit and you learned vocabulary. Dr. Betty Speaks create her own vocabulary. Executionist. That is so powerful, and I like how you said about civility is an expression of beauty. Wow, that is so powerful. And as I think about the platform today, as I look at you, I see you as an expression of beauty. As I look at Missionary Jane and express every woman that is on here, you are an expression of beauty. Sis, that was a great way to wrap this up and see all of ourselves as an expression of beauty when we move in civility. Powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. Just amazing. And stand. You want to be around those who are standing, not falling. Not falling for the okey doke, not going with what everybody's doing, but stand. That is so powerful. It was so great to have you to really in this forum to bring it all together. And I just thank you for your yes. I know a part of you, we worked with women's empowerment, you working in the military with women
Oh
leaders,
my,
that this
yes,
is what you do. You
yes.
are an executionist, and you move, and you are an expression of beauty. And to everyone watching, you move forward in civility today because you are the expression of beauty. I thank you so much. We're going to move through the panel. I'm going to let each of them have their final words. But even before we do that, since we ended with you, I'm going to start with you. What would be your final words for all those that are watching today?
Continue to carry on the legacy. This is a new platform right here. Get ready for your next. This does not stop anything. What's your next? What is your next? You hear a lot of people say, "What's your next? What's my next?" You have to be intentional about taking action on your next. Go on out of here. Get out of here, executionists.
Absolutely. What is next? That is so, so powerful. So, I thank you again, Dr. Betty Speaks, for being here, for spending your time with me today. Let me see who else I have who's still hanging in with me. We are right at the 2-hour mark. Let me go back. Let me see if I can bring up my two blessed girls, if they're ready. Let me see if they're ready. I might have to unmute them.
Hi.
All right. So Tamia is here. Let me see. Where is who's here? Who else is here with me? I see Tamia. I see Caitlin. Let me see who else. Oh, there's somebody that shouldn't be here. I guess that might have been an old screen. All right. So, ladies, you participated as the moderator, as Blessed Girls. We had to bridge the gap with you all. Tell me, how do you feel? Give me one of your biggest takeaways from today.
My biggest takeaway is that
From today, I
we need
learned a
to
lot.
envision ourselves and like what we want to become, and to know
You can
that
hear the
we are women and we could do anything.
Say that one more time. What was that last statement, Caitlin?
That we are women and we could do anything.
We are women and we can do anything. Yes, ma'am. That is the truth. How about you, Tamia? What was one of your biggest takeaways?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My biggest takeaway is that the community is stronger than we think it is, and that we just need to pay attention more to it. And us women, we're naturally strong, and we just need to embrace it more. And we can do anything through God. So this makes it known that we are the solution and that we can do anything.
Powerful, powerful stuff. You are the solution. Indeed. And you are more powerful than you can even imagine. And I tell you what, that's the enemy knows that too. He knows your power. You don't even know your power, but he knows. And he's just coming to stop, to hinder. And so we got to move forward. That's my job, to push you guys forward, to walk and move in your power, to be bold, to be you. And we already know you are blessed girls. So ladies, I love you. I appreciate you being here today, stepping out of your comfort zone. Look at you. You traveled to Kenya. You traveled to Burundi. Look at you. You met women from all over the world. Swaziland. You look at you guys. Look, you traveled today. You're global today. We are launching just the beginning of you and more to come. So thank you. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be talking, okay?
Okay, thank
Love you
you.
too.
Love you too. Thank you.
All right. Love you guys. All right. Let's see who I'm going to bring up next for her closing words. It's even later for her, but she is here with us. Hold on. Let me get Soyam up on the screen. Soyam, are you here with me? Hold on. You might be on mute. Did you mute yourself? I can't hear you. Make sure you're not on mute. I didn't put you on mute. Hold on. Okay. Can you unmute? Okay, you there? It's weird. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Try it again. No? Okay, maybe you have to go out and come back again. Maybe because you've been in waiting for so long. Let me try, Polile. Hello, she's still here. Okay,
Hi.
good. Hey, now you kicked us off. You're here to the very
Yeah.
end. What do you think? How do you feel today?
I am just blown away. The speakers, there was so much to unpack in what they were saying, and no wonder Blessed Girls is such a blessing. I wish I had this type of mentorship, this type of platform when I was younger. I would have just been unstoppable. I mean, I'm doing things now, but I would have been unstoppable. So
Right.
this is so awesome. Thank you, Dr. Anana, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you also to Ambassador Clyde Rivers as well. And we just keep doing your thing. This is wonderful. I'm speechless. I'm just processing everything. And I think my personal biggest takeaway was don't allow people to pay for a stage that God has set up for you, because only God can afford you.
I know that's right. Ain't that
Yep.
something? Ain't that something?
That was amazing. That was amazing.
You got your word today, sis. You definitely got
Yeah.
your word.
That
You
was for
got your
me. That
word.
was for me.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Yeah.
So, sis, I thank you again, and you know we up to some things. So,
Yep.
you stuck with me now, right?
I
we
mean,
gonna.
I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you. Come to Swaziland, Kingdom of Eswatini. Come to South Africa. We have to do something. We have to
Amen.
make it work. Yep.
Amen. Amen. Well, I love you. I appreciate you for your time, for your vision, and for you being, as Dr. Betty said, an executionist. We got a word, right?
Amen. Yep, that's
We
it.
are that. We are that, and you are the solution. So bless you
Yes.
so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
All right, let me see if I can get Sawyer back up here. I don't know. I can't hear you. I see you, but I can't hear you. I'm sad. I don't know. Maybe, did you go out and come all the way back in? Can you hear me? Maybe go out and come all the way back in. Like exit out and then come back. Click the link again just for 1 more minute. I know it's getting late. I'm gonna take you out completely and let's start fresh. All right, let me see. Who else is here? All right. Missionary Jane, come on back, sis. Hold on. She's on a mute thing too. What's going on here?
I am not muted. I'm okay.
Oh, there we go. All right. We're good. We're good. So, Missionary Jane, I want to just make a special announcement. You guys may not know. So, she is our newest Blessed Girl ambassador for Burundi. She is taking the lead as we are starting our new chapter in Burundi. She is an amazing leader. And while you're here, I just wanted to show our campaign if I can. Let's see if we can show this. I hope people can see it. I tried this last week. Can you guys see my screen?
Nope.
No? Oh my goodness. How about now?
No, me. I
Can you
can't
see
see.
that?
No, I can't see you. Maybe others can.
Nobody? Okay. I don't know how to do that part, but we're going to figure it out. But we are kicking off our Blessed Girls Burundi chapter, and our first
Yes.
project is called Panties and Pads. So we
Yes.
are going to be starting a project where we are raising funds. We're asking for donations. And in addition, Missionary Jane is going to be starting with an amazing group of women there in Burundi, where we're going to start training girls on their feminine hygiene, right? So
Yeah.
we're kicking that off. So immediately after this broadcast, you'll hear more about Blessed Girls Burundi and our Panties and Pads project. So thank you so much, Jane, for being the leader, the forerunner in regard to that, and helping us go global and continue the mission. So what was your biggest takeaway? Anything that you want to say before we let you go?
Oh, yes, if you stand for nothing, you will fall on anything. I choose to stand for something and for the foresee.
Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Stand, that was from Dr. Betty Steeks. That's exactly right. The
Yes.
executionist. She gave us that. So I thank you. I love you. I wish there was a way I could show this, but for some reason I still can't do it. But Pads and Panties is kicking off our first project for Burundi. So guys, stay tuned for that. You know, if you want to make a
Sure.
donation, you can go right to blessedgirls.com. You want to support our work, this is the place and the opportunity to do that for tax-free donations even today. So for all of you who are
Yeah.
watching, I know I got some people watching with some big money, some deep pockets. We need your help. We need your support. They say you have not because you asked not.
Yes.
But we are going to continue this work, right?
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So love you, sis. I hope you go ahead and get some rest. I know it's late for you, but I appreciate you today for being on the summit, and you are the solution.
Thank you. You are the solution.
Love you so much. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, we're going to try Soya one more time. I'm praying she can get on. Let's pray. Let's pray.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. Now let me get you on the screen. I figured we just probably had to jump start it some kind of way. All right, let's see. Let's see. It's just taking a little lag there, but let's see. Soyam, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, goodness, that's it.
Well,
Tell
first
me,
of all, I
sis.
would really like
You
to thank you. Sorry? I'm saying
no,
I'd
go
like
right
to
ahead.
thank
Go
you
right.
for giving us this opportunity to share this platform and share all our views and to talk about some of our experiences. And I think it's very evident having 5 wonderful women and yourself and your 2 lovely blessed girls. I mean, the solution is right there. Put all the power together and a Wonder Woman. It wouldn't be Wonder Woman, it'll be Wonder Women. And we are the change and we will be the change. And we have to be the change. And that's it. Like if we work together, look at it. It's just beautiful. That's it. And
Amen.
thank you so much. And I really look forward to having you here in Kenya.
We're coming. We are coming. As soon as they open it up, you know we are coming. Blessed Girls are headed your way to help and to support you in so many ways. You know what they say, if it is to be, it is up to me. And you certainly embody that. You show that. Of course, you and your family are doing some incredible things there. So I cannot wait to see firsthand you as an executionist. That's Dr. Betty's word. We're taking it. But I so appreciate you. And like you said, you can feel the power, you can feel the synergy, and just real, true, genuine love for people. For this thing, civility. And I love how she said it's an expression of our beauty, right? When we show and walk and move in civility, and you looking beautiful to me, sis. So I appreciate you. I thank you. Go ahead and get some rest. I kept you up late tonight,
I have
but
an
we'll be talking
adrenaline
soon
rush
about
right
it.
now.
I know,
I
right?
have an
How you sleep
adrenaline
after this?
rush. I don't want to sleep. I want to do.
That's what happened to me last night. I was up all night, so at least I have some time now to wind down from this. But I totally understand it. So I thank you, and of course, you know, we would love to have you here in the U.S. One day we're going to have this summit in person. When the world opens up, and you will absolutely have an open invitation to come and speak and share your experiences and the great work that you're doing there. Okay.
Thank you.
Indeed,
Have a
indeed. So
good
have a great day.
day.
We'll be talking soon, okay? All right, everyone. So listen up, listen up. I just want to say again my final greetings for everyone for hanging in with us today. I pray that you found value, that just this summit added value to you and to move you to action, to know that you are the solution. Hashtag I am the solution. We are about those affirmations that you continue to speak life, to see yourself as the solution, because guess what, the world needs you. The world needs you to be bold, the world needs you to be you, and the world needs you to be blessed. You are a blessed girl. This is Dr. Anana, the women and youth civility practitioner, and I want to say thank you on behalf of Sir Clyde Rivers. I know he's on to the next thing. We just thank you for your support. We thank you for your passion, your purpose, and we thank you for partnering with us in our next endeavors. So make sure you go to BlessedGirls.com. Like we said, listen, click that donation button. Help us as we continue our movement. We continue to support girls and bring civility around the world, one person at a time. Be bold, be you, be blessed, girl. Love you guys.